Namaste, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yes, I am wearing the shades. Yes, I am in the shades because I gotta throw some shades. Champion, 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 champion. Back to back, that's right. It is Football Frenzy, another episode. Let's get down to the reactions to the Champions League finals that went down in Budapest. And it was a great finals. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I am a blue, Chelsea blue, PSG blue. But I mean, I gotta call fact to fact. It was a great game. Extra time, penalties, heartbreaker. But at the same time, that's possibly why essentially everybody kind of edged PSG in this one. Both teams kind of took out their first team in a sense. Saka came off, Dembele came off, Kvara came off. Everybody went with their backups. Arsenal with Madueke, they had Gabriel Martinelli on the other side. You know, Kai Havertz to Gyökeres, and then on the other side you had a Gonzalo Ramos that came in as well. But in a sense, it wasn't really the attackers that really did their part. The game kind of went down to the midfield. PSG absolutely dominated control. I mean, if you can win a game like that, sure. But like you need some sort of possession, some sort of control in the game. Really, you can't really say any team had control. At most points, the game just looked broken. Kind of like in a basketball game, it was just fast breaks going down the back. I did say, hey, Arsenal fans, if you guys want to call me a hater, go ahead and do so because I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna say it again. Back then, I said it. It was going to be Declan Rice. That was going to be our catalyst to the Premier League. He did do that. But when it came to the UCL, it does get down to the very finest of margins. It is a knockout competition. It is not a season where, you could stack up wins, you could stack up draws, kind of work around losses and still claim a championship at the end. This, you make a mistake, the other team will make you pay. And the difference between the finalist and the champions, it was right there, but PSG edged it out. Um, and I mean, it's really that simple. I think the difference in midfield, I mentioned it in the semifinals. Fabian Ruiz's injury helped out PSG a lot. I know that's a harshful thing to say. I do not wish injury upon and I do not wish injury upon any or everybody or not anybody. You get the gist. But yeah, like I do not wish injury upon nobody, but that kind of opened the door up for Warren Zaire Emery to kind of step into that role. Even in the semifinals against Bayern Munich, he looked comfortable playing in that right back role to cover for Hakimi, who was out. Talking about that, Hakimi, Nuno Mensch, though he missed his penalty, and then Dembele, all three, even with their health and fitness issues, whatever you might want to say, hey, they do not even play that much, whatever it is. But it's not just the injury of current, it is, or the fatigue of right now. This is a fatigue that has been stacking up since this decade started. Once the football calendar was disrupted due to COVID, all the summer competitions kind of, the Euros and everything, they kind of just piled upon each other. I don't think there's a break until probably, next year. Because yeah, 2027, I think, but there's still going to be Nations League or something like that. So players still going to be, like if you don't go play for your national team, players are going to be cash prize for it, but they have not been able to get their proper rest. I am going to stand on that from Fede Valverde. Some Barca players, if we go back and look at Pedri when he had to play 72 games for Spain and Barca, we saw what that looked like. I mean, the best version of him is when he does play 50, 60 matches, not 70, 80, and is completely exhausted. Vitinha, we saw him being subbed off in the extra time. Gotta manage his fatigue as well. He's about to go into World Cup, final World Cup for Cristiano Ronaldo, kind of like 2022. It was the midfield that carried Argentina to the glory. In that sense, you have a John Neves who just came off a back-to-back. Vitinha, same thing. Gonzalo Ramos, even if he is the starting striker for Portugal. Then you have Cristiano coming on 70, 80, 85th minute, come in, give whatever he can, and then, hopefully, maybe Portugal are one of the teams at the end. We'll see what happens there. But that only helps, like you getting that midfield engine firing in all cylinders. You have Bruno Fernandes, who did win Premier League Player of the Year as well. So that midfield is going to be cooking if fatigue doesn't really tire them out. We could see some stuff happening. Portugal does have almost depth in every single position, but this is about this matchup. Um, some of the mistakes I did see between Mikel Arteta, I think he did kind of like Pep, kind of overthink it at times. Towards the end, Hincapi being injured and not having Califuori being able to be subbed on could have, if it was a team that wasn't as fatigued either, possibly, or maybe they didn't sense the blood in the water as much. Once the starters kind of came off, they didn't really attack Hincapi on that side. They did kind of start shading with midfield, and Gabriel Martinelli started dropping in, and possibly one of the reasons why he probably got subbed on was to provide that cover, and that kind of lets you concede attack on that side. Like, hey, we'll defend on this side a little bit more. They were attacking with Madueke more. That was not a penalty, Arsenal fans. No matter what you say, he hooked the defender and then tried to get him on his back. If that was going the other way, the I mean, we saw a clear penalty on the other side with Mosquera. Also, I do want to say, I said it to my Arsenal friend as well. Mosquera has the potential, definitely, to be a future Arsenal center back next to William Saliba or as a replacement to Gabriel in a very recent future. He's 19, 20, maybe 21. By 23, 24, I think he is going to be one of the better players. In Capi, you still have hope there. But let's see if, more than likely he is going to be signed, but let's see if that deal gets signed. Now, it is what's next for Arsenal. They were finalists. They are the Premier League champions. What does that next step take? Because it's wide open now. Chelsea are starting brand new with Xabi Alonso. Liverpool just sacked Arne Slot to start new with Iraola. Let's see if the new team, Virgil and Allison are still there, but it's everyone else around them that's going to be brand new. Let's see how the integration from this generation or the winning generation goes into this new generation with Isak, with Akatike, with Verts and everybody. City, same thing. You have Pep leaving, so it does open a door for Arsenal to become a perennial champions, just like Liverpool, just like City, just like United back in the day, just like Chelsea back in the day. So they have the chance to go do that. Will they able to do that? It's going to depend on the summer signings, depend on the players. That you don't just get caught up in the moment because it is a World Cup year. Maybe you go shell out a 60, 70 million for somebody, kind of like Barca already did with Anthony Gordon. But I think so far, Arsenal have been smart with their buys. I hope they stay on that track. They are going to have to, probably try to get some value back from possibly a Martinelli. You can look at a trust upgrade. So there is places that you need to look at. Maybe a Barcola from PSG is somebody that you look at. Yildiz might be one of those. There's other, Nico Williams. There are other, left winger, possibly a Rafa Leao. They're not that far away. They have the pieces. They're just lacking slightly. It's not even a mentality thing, but it is about offense in a sense. In a knockout matchup, they did not have enough firepower compared to PSG, and it showed, especially in the extra time. It did not look like either side really wanted to score goals. Barcola had his moments, Madueke had his moments, but they showed, hey, we're not, like we are stars, but we're not those superstars. And also, I think this generation lacks those clinical finishers that till I want to say till 2015 were there in the Premier League all across Europe. There were guys who were goal scorers. I think the definitive goal scorers that you could point at across Europe, really in soccer all around. It's very much lighter pool to pick from than what it used to be back in the day. So yeah, it's on the left side you have to watch out for. And finally, shout out to Gabriel. I mean, not being an Arsenal fan, I had to make fun a little bit, but it wasn't just him. Let's remember the second penalty of Richie Eze. Let's not. I'm not saying anything racist, or I do not want people to go comment racist stuff or anything on under his thing. If anything, go show love. But that's where it kind of gets highlighted the most. The run up, the to a degree overconfidence or maybe overthinking, one of the two. That's gonna haunt him for a minute unless they get to rectify that moment. He is gonna live that down. Um, yeah, it's it could be a nightmare situation like the Invincibles with Thierry Henry and the 2006 squad. They were right there, similar. I mean, this was 1-1. That was 2-1, I do believe. Lost in penalties in this one, but similar type of sting. Another, actually, this is my final little thing that I do want to point out in the difference between Arsenal and PSG. PSG, when Marquinhos went out, the captain armband went to Hakimi. He's been there, he's done that, and he's always been the vice captain, right? On the other side, for Arsenal, once Odegaard went out, first Odegaard went out, and then it was Declan Rice. So it does not make any sense why coming into this season, Declan Rice was not named captain. Like he should, that like just those little minute little details, it kind of changes the dynamic. Like I feel like it's really that small, minute of a detail. Arteta maybe overthinking some stuff like Pep did against Chelsea back in 2020. Um, and yeah, Chelsea, two of them. If you want to go see a UCL, you're gonna have to come to the blue side of London, never the white side, because they will celebrate their Premier League titles. We have those back in the day too. But champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. You gooners, you'll never.